Peter and Michelle, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the series.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Peter, what inspired this work for you?
Basically, it was two things. Firstly, it was a strange kind of ghostly experience I had once when I was staying in a cabin in the woods in Sweden, and every night as we were going to bed, well, for a couple of nights, myself and my wife heard this little girl crying in the forest, crying for her mama, and we didn't know who she was or where she was. And when we went out during the day to try and find somewhere where this little girl might be staying or something, there was nowhere. So this little spooky thing kind of stayed in my mind for a couple of years until I was asked whether I would be interested in writing a show about astronauts. And I've always been interested in the experience of being an astronaut kind of totally, but there are also odd little ghost stories and spooky things that you sometimes hear about which have happened to astronauts up there. You know, they've heard dogs barking and they've seen figures floating outside of the capsule, and for some reason the experience of this lone astronaut up there trying to get back to her daughter kind of echoed with that lost little girl in the forest trying to connect with her mum. And so I joined them together, and writing the series was basically exploring how this parent and this child who seem so lost from each other can find a way back.
It's so amazing where you can find inspiration for something like this. Michelle, when you're writing something like this, the genre always amazes me, because you need to have the right amount of pacing. You need to have the right amount of nuggets just to keep us, just pulling on that line, to as we're trying to solve the bigger picture. What are some of the keys to this?
Well, I think when you're directing something that's so that has these different genres, I'm always thinking about where's the best place to put the camera at this particular moment to evoke whatever emotion is that you want. And I'm very much a subjective storyteller, but when you have somebody by themselves in a location, you're going to have objective angles. And one of the things that I wanted to incorporate in this is this feeling of voyeurism, a feeling of somebody else could be watching her, that she maybe isn't alone. And so we would incorporate that feeling of claustrophobia and intimacy, and then we would jump out wide and we give you a sense of geography, but also introduce the idea that maybe there is somebody else there. And as far as pacing goes, I mean, it's I think when the clock is ticking and she's trying to fix the battery and everything, you want to keep the intensity up. You want to put the audience in her head. You want to feel like the angst that she's feeling at that moment. So obviously Noomi did an amazing performance doing that, and everybody, it's such a collaboration. But it's also really editing is a huge part of that, and keeping that tension up. So it's a giant collaboration.
You spoke about Noomi, and honestly, when she's a lead in our house, it's a must-watch, whether it's film, whether it's a series. What was it like working with this cast? You also have Jonathan Banks, to name a couple more. And were these the names that you had in mind when you were putting this together, or did it come that way? And just fabulous cast.
I think actually, yes, they were our kind of first choice. Both of them. Yeah. It was just kind of obvious that Noomi should play that part. It was kind of written for her in a way, and as soon as she got the scripts, she was very annoyed at us because she was going to take 6 months off and chill out for a bit, but she felt that she had to play this part. We were very lucky that she has done, and a similar thing with Jonathan, really. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, Jonathan, I don't think was looking to move to Europe for a year, but he couldn't say no. And James Darcy, Will Catlett, the twins that we found that played Alice, Rosie and Davina Coleman. I mean, it's a dream cast. Everybody is absolutely fantastic, and such a eclectic mix too with the astronauts from different countries. It's a very international cast. I feel really fortunate.
Oh, thank you both for your time, and congratulations again on the series, and I look forward to be able to share it with the world.
Thank you
Thank you
Lovely
so
to meet
much.
you.
Nice to meet you.